Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You're watching Glossy दोस्ती और मैं हूँ आकृति अरोड़ा। हम लास्ट वीडियो में डिस्कस कर रहे थे बेसिक एलिमेंट्स ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट, जिसमें हमने डिस्कस किया ऑफर, एक्सेप्टेंस एंड इन दिस वीडियो वी विल डिस्कस रेवोकेशन ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस, राइट? मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, I would like to state what are the basic elements which we were discussing earlier. Well, basic elements were offer, acceptance, consideration and capacity to contract, right? Now move forward towards revocation of contract. The Indian Contract Act gives both the proposer and the acceptor the opinion of revoking the communication before completed contract comes into existence, right? So the revocation of proposal is mentioned in section number 6 of the Indian Contract Act. We'll discuss one by one all the methods given in that. Number one method is notice of revocation. Well, under section number 5 it is stated that the communication of the proposal can be revoked any time before the communication of acceptance is completed as against the proposer. Well, communication of acceptance, how it is completed against the proposer, I have discussed it in my previous video of acceptance. You can have a look. We are moving forward of revocation of contract by notice. For example, A stated B that he wants to sell his house, right? Now, how will A revoke this offer? First of all, A gave this offer to B that he wants to sell his house to B, right? Now, B can only accept the offer via letter, right? Now, before B post his acceptance, if A actually revoke it before the acceptance of B is complete, that is before B post his acceptance via letter, तो क्या होगा? A की revocation मान लेंगे हम. दोबारा बताती हूँ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ए ने बोला बी को दैट मुझे अपना हाउस सेल करना है आपको, ठीक है? तो वाइल प्रपोजिंग दिस, आफ्टर दैट बी सेड दैट ठीक है मैं एक्सेप्ट करूँगा, बट अभी बी ने एक्सेप्ट किया नहीं है. बी की एक्सेप्टेंस तब कंप्लीट होगी जब बी अपनी एक्सेप्टेंस पोस्ट करेगा, राइट? सो बी के पोस्ट करने से पहले अगर ए अपनी रिवोकेशन दे देता है तो ये हम इसको रिवोकेशन माने. बाय मेथड नंबर 2 दैट स्टेट्स lapse of time. I have mentioned it in my slide as well. Kindly read it. I have mentioned that offer lapse on expiry of time if any fixed for acceptance. That means, for example, in a contract, if it is mentioned that offer will lapse on this particular date, right? You have to accept, you have to give your acceptance on this particular date. So if nobody has given their acceptance on that particular date, then the offer will automatically get revoked, right? Next point I have stated, however, it is enough if the acceptor has posted the acceptance before stipulated time, even if it reaches the offerer after stipulated time. For example, A has mentioned in his offer that I want to sell this particular good, right? But the acceptance has to be made on that particular date, right? But what happened? B posted his acceptance on before that particular date, जो ए ने मेंशन करी थी कि इस डेट से पहले आपको अपनी एक्सेप्टेंस मुझे देनी है, तो बी ने अपनी एक्सेप्टेंस पोस्ट कर दी, बट इट डिडंट रीच ए ऑन दैट टाइम, राइट? ऑन दैट डेट, सॉरी. सो इट डिडंट रीच ए ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डेट. सो दिस मीन्स कि यहाँ पे क्या होगा? इवन इफ इट रीचेज द ऑफरर आफ्टर स्टिपुलेटेड डेट, we will consider it accepted, right? So however, it is enough if the acceptor has posted the acceptance before stipulated time, even if it reaches the offerer after the stipulated date, right? So next point is, whenever no time of acceptance is prescribed, then the offer has to be accepted within reasonable time. Yani ki whenever there is no reasonable time mentioned, right? For example, it's not mentioned what is the time, what is the date, then obviously you cannot accept the offer after 3 years or 2 years or 4 years, right? There has to be a particular reasonable time. Like for example, in this case, reasonable time can be maybe 2 months, 3 months, not 4-5 years, right? Third point states, by failure to fulfill the condition precedent. Yani ki, read it. The offer lapses if the acceptance is made without fulfilling the condition. Example, deposit the earnest money. Now here it is very simple. For example, it is mentioned in the contract that your acceptance can only be made if you deposit the earnest money. So if the acceptor has not actually fulfilled his conditions, the conditions of the offer, then the offer is revoked, That means if any condition is mentioned in the offer that you have to accept it in a particular way, or you have to fulfill any particular condition for that, then you have to do that, right? For accepting the offer, otherwise it is revoked. Next point, death by insanity of offer. That means it's stated here that an offer lapses on death or insanity of the offerer, provided that the fact comes to his knowledge of the offeree before he accepts offer is valid acceptance. That means if the offer lapses on death or insanity of the offerer, for example, if a person died, right, he gave this offer that he wants to sell his house but he dies, so here or he become insane, so in that case the offer will actually get revoked. But when, for example, if he actually get insane, right, and of this particular fact that he is insane, now this particular information has reached B. Now B is aware that A is insane. Despite of knowing that A is insane, he accepts the offer. So in this case, the contract will not be revoked because of A's insanity, because B was very well aware of A's insanity, right? Next, moving forward to revocation of acceptance. Well, section number 5 provides that acceptance may be revoked at any time before communication of acceptance is complete as against the acceptor, but not afterwards. यानी कि the acceptance कब हम revoke कर सकते हैं? Well, acceptance can be revoked any time before it reaches the proposer. यानी कि बिफोर द इंफॉर्मेशन रीचेज द प्रपोजर हम एक्सेप्टर एज एक्सेप्टर उसे रिवोक कर सकते हैं. इलस्ट्रेशन लेते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ ए प्रपोजेज बाय लेटर सेंड बाय पोस्ट टू सेल हिज हाउस, राइट, बी एक्सेप्ट्स द प्रपोजर बाय लेटर बाय पोस्ट. नाउ बी may revoke his acceptance any time before or at moment when the letter communicating it reaches A. यानी कि if A proposed that he wants to sell his house to B, right, and B stated that he wants to accept it, right, B has sent his letter to A of acceptance. Now when B can actually revoke his acceptance, B can revoke his acceptance before his letter reaches A, right? Next, so guys, I am mentioning here flow chart which I have prepared specially for you, revocation of proposal and revocation of acceptance, how it can be made. There are bullet points, you can note it down. And
okay, so now I think you all must be very well aware what is the difference between revocation of proposal and acceptance.
thank you for watching my video, guys. You can subscribe to my channel, it will be really helpful, I hope, and good luck for your preparation.